Mechanism complemented by support prices.
Your Excellency, the UN Secretary General, Your Excellency Stefano Caffi from the Italian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Your Excellency Gilma Amante, Minister of Agriculture, Natural Resources from the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, Honorable Ministers present, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. I am deeply honored to address this esteemed gathering of policymakers, sector leaders, development partners, private sector actors, and fellow coffee-producing nations. I bring you all greetings from His Excellency, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the President of the Republic of Uganda, and indeed all the people of Uganda. They send their appreciation for this opportunity to share our journey, progress, and aspirations as we collectively explore how to accelerate the transformation of coffee value chain across Africa and beyond. And allow me at this very moment to appreciate sincerely the government of Ethiopia and all the people of Ethiopia for the warm hospitality accorded to all of us from the time we arrived in this beautiful city. Ladies and gentlemen, for Uganda, coffee is not just an agricultural commodity. It is the lifeblood of our natural and rural economy, a symbol of our cultural identity, and a key driver in our national development agenda. It plays a critical role in our poverty reduction strategies and rural transformation efforts. When we speak of coffee in Uganda, we are speaking of the dignity and livelihoods of millions of households, of economic resilience, and of our place on the global market. While Ethiopia is rightly celebrated as the birthplace of coffee, Uganda is a cradle of Robusta coffee, a distinction that enriches our heritage. In 2017, Uganda set out an ambitious target to increase coffee production from 4.3 million to 20 million 60 kilogram bags by 2030. As of financial year 23-24, we have achieved 8.3 million bags, signaling strong momentum. Our journey is anchored in a holistic transformation agenda aimed at creating a competitive, sustainable, and inclusive coffee sector. Let me briefly outline the key pillars of our strategy. For instance, enhancing production and productivity. The government of Uganda is aggressively scaling up areas under coffee cultivation and boosting farm-level productivity through the following interventions. Firstly, distributing over 1.5 billion of high-quality seedlings in the last 8 years, including coffee wilt disease-resistant varieties. Second, expanding the cultivation area from 583,000 hectares towards a target of 1.5 million hectares. And third, increasing yield per tree from 0.8 kilograms to 1.5 kilograms. Last but not least, providing coffee-specific extension services, facilitating access to irrigation and rehabilitating aging coffee trees. Through these interventions, Uganda is not only increasing output but also improving resilience and long-term sustainability of coffee farming. Investing in coffee research and innovation. The government of Uganda continues to invest in research as a cornerstone for transformation, and to date, I am happy to report to you that 10 improved robust varieties and 5 Arabica varieties have been released. Research on drought and pest-resistant limes is ongoing to mitigate the escalating threats posed by climate change. This research underpins our effort to adapt and thrive in the face of environmental and market challenges, promoting value addition and agro-industrialization. We cannot fully benefit from our coffee potential if we remain predominantly exporters of raw beans. That's why we have prioritized value addition through establishing 3 soluble coffee plants under public-private partnerships to spur local consumption and diversity export offerings. Second, supporting over 200 coffee producer organizations with modern equipment, wet mills, hullers, roasters, solar dryers, etc., and reconstructing the National Coffee Analytical Laboratory and establishing 4 regional labs to ensure quality and meet standards of discerning global markets. Compliance with the European Union deforestation regulation and global market demands. Ladies and gentlemen, we recognize the urgency of aligning with the European Union deforestation regulation and other international standards. Uganda has made the following strategic progress in this regard: digitization of the value chain actors, development of national coffee traceability system in partnership with the private sector, supporting farmers to establish real-time market observatory schemes, tracking prices, volumes, and trends, and achieving Fair Trade Rainforest Alliance and organic certification. Last but not least, on strengthening regional and continental collaboration, we are partnering with regional and continental partners to promote African coffee. We are also advocating and supporting equitable market through global agreements and undertaking joint research and climate action. In conclusion, therefore, we welcome African Union's decisions to designate coffee as a strategic commodity, since this gives African producers a stronger voice in global fora and opens new opportunities for cooperation. Together, we can define the narrative of African coffee from being a source of raw material to a global leader in coffee quality finished products and innovation. Let us work together to brew a better, more equitable, and more prosperous coffee future for Africa and the world. I thank you.
Really being asked to give some reflections on coffee here is really important. As we said, it's not going to solve a hunger problem, but in a sense, the jobs that it will provide will contribute to everyone having a decent job, a job that will contribute to their aspirations and where they would like to see themselves in their lives. And so I think here what we have is an agricultural product on which so many depend, and that is coffee. We know that economies around the world have been able to draw on this on this commodity to improve livelihoods, to create jobs, but also to expand social protection. And we also know that coffee stands out for its connections to climate action and with positive results. Recent studies are showing us how coffee consumption has positive impact on health, and we're really today wanting to hear about how we can highlight those interconnections that are aligned with the rationale behind food systems transformation. Ethiopia's historic and economic stake in coffee as the birthplace of Arabica and Africa's largest producer has also, I think, highlighted today Italy's leadership in global coffee trade, the value addition, and
the field as the head of community life. We are delighted to co-host this summit, Advancing Transformation of Africa Coffee, with the government of Italy, the United Nations Industrial Development Organization, the International Coffee Organization, the Inter-African Coffee Organization, IACO, and the development partners. I thank every high-level delegate for gracing us with your presence. Your insights will enrich today's deliberation. Coffee as a strategic commodity for Ethiopia and Africa. Ethiopia's relationship with coffee is not simply agriculture, it is ancestral. Coffee is deeply embedded in our culture, our history, and our economy. And it is from this deep-rooted identity that Ethiopia contributes to the broader aspiration of all coffee producers to build a more inclusive, sustainable, and value-driven coffee economy across the world. Coffee is a strategic asset for Ethiopia and for many African economies, guided by the visionary outcomes of the G25 Kampala Coffee Summit. The African Union has now designated coffee among the continent's strategic commodities.